Greetings, Devans. Glad to come online again today. Again, spontaneously, not without a notice. So, I don't know how many will be here, but still, I'll put this as a small recording. I'm considering this to be a recording. I am right now in Arunachala Hill again, and it's peak time. Peak where it's almost noon, so the heat is high. But somehow this space, these trees are saving me from that scorching heat. The heat is there, humidity is there, but I'm still having shade. So it's like best of both worlds. There is the scorching heat as well as the shade, the calmness. So this is how duality actually works. It's always there with us. The calmness as well as the heat of life. So it's very easy to get heated up in the heat of life, or to choose to remain in the shade of life, shade of awareness. Here again, this is a very beautiful example that spontaneously came up. I was talking about the heat, and suddenly this conversation is changing here, but it's a very good example. Heat can be considered to the mind, and shade can be considered to awareness. So I would call it the heat of the mind and the shade of awareness. The two choices that we always walk with, both the choices we always have, depends on which mode are you switching on to. If you are switching on to the mind mode, it's heat, unbearable. Like right now, if I go into the sun there, I will profusely start sweating and feel so uncomfortable and heated up that I would rather want to run away somewhere from here. That's what exactly happens in life too. The heat makes us run away from life, or that urge, deep urge to run and seek solace of that peace of mind, and that stillness and that silence, contentment, where finally we feel contented and there is no distress but easiness. And that can be found if we choose the shade of awareness. So it's a beautiful example that I'm saying. So right now, my common sense tells me it's better to sit in the shade of this tree than to sit in the sun and do this life. Why? Because I have an option at all times. On this Arunachala hill, I always have this option to either sit in the sun or sit in the shade. What makes me not choose the shade? This is a beautiful question that came up. Unconsciousness, unawareness, or ignorance. Ignorance means I am caught up badly in my mind. I said the heat is, this is a beautiful example. The heat is the mind. So when I am badly caught up in the mind, I am stuck in an ignorance, a shield of ignorance that I create around me, and I create my own dramas, own illusions, own thoughts, own patterns, own imaginations. And then I live in that cocoon of that mind, and at the same time suffer the heat. Very bad heat, painful, lot of suffering. And I keep wondering, why am I suffering so much? Why is the sun giving me sunburns? Why is the heat catching up so much? Why can't I relax? Why can't I be in peace? All that I need to do is shift from that mind which will not allow me to be in peace, shift from that mind, shift into awareness. When I shift into awareness, it's a choice that I make because of grace. That choice comes from your grace. That is your punya. That is your merit that you have earned in this life. Merits and punyas doesn't mean life is just going to be beautiful, all your karma is just taken away and you suddenly... No, it acts in these forms. It comes in these bija rupas. It comes in this seed form. of this awareness. You suddenly become conscious, oh, it's too hot. The sun is going to burn me up. I have to move to the shade. That is the grace, what we call. You may call it the grace of the Guru, grace of the Almighty, grace of the nature, grace of your own self, whatever you call it. That's grace that comes and gives you an idea, an awareness, a consciousness that you are suffering right now because you have chosen to remain in the heat and you have not become aware of this fact that you are burning yourself out. This is grace. So if that awareness is coming into you, I must now shift from my mind away. It's a blessing. I'm telling you, do not take this for granted. Do not take this for granted if on and often you are reminded, I'm on the wrong track. Something, that inner voice is telling you, what I'm doing is not right. What I'm choosing is not right. Because that is your guiding light. That is the force of your inner being, which you call as the soul. The soul is enlightening you, the ego consciousness, the unreal you, the false you. There, that grace is coming in this form, just reminding you and nudging you, move away, alert. It puts an alarm, beep, 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 something wrong. And the moment you hear that signal, you make a conscious effort. That conscious effort is called free will. Choice, your own choice. So if you have a free will, if you have a choice, you can exert and make this decision immediately. Who is ignorant? Who is ajnani? Who is called as an ignorant? The ajnani is the one who is deluded or who is not aroused by this awareness or this consciousness, has no awareness at all. He is burning, he or she is burning. All that he and she is right now doing is crying, wiggling, in pain, in turmoil, in depression, in lowness, in anger, in frustration, in depression. All this, all the sadness and grief and helplessness and hopelessness and the pity and the self-victim, all this drama is happening in the mind. The one who is sticking on to the drama without becoming awake is called an ajnani, an ignorant. Ajnanis are everywhere. Not necessarily those who are not on the spiritual. Even on the spiritual path, to be an ajnani is the greatest ignorance. To be unaware is the greatest sin, I would call it. What use is that path that we choose? What use is that path if we are not exerting our right to shift into that moment of awareness that is actually drifting away and eating away the soul consciousness? That is pulling us deeper into the gutters of ego consciousness. We are loving to flow with the flow of that ego and go into the pit of the ego and remain buried there forever, complaining my life is this way, or I am in the self-pity mode, the victimized mode. This is called ajnani, ignorance. We all have this ignorance. We don't count our blessings because we always are in the habit of seeing our ignorance and our negativities, our flaws, our weaknesses. We believe and trust in our weaknesses more than we believe and trust in the blessings and the grace that we have. What is the blessing and grace? The grace, it is the gift of this awareness, this consciousness. I am a conscious being. I am not a dead animal. I am not a Pashu being. An animal is not aware when it is getting revengeful, hateful, or distressful. It has no choice. Only the human being has a choice, which we call as free will. If you have this alertness of the alarm that is ringing whenever you are going wrong or doing something that is not in line with your soul consciousness, trust that to be your greatest blessing. That blessing, that light which makes you awakened, that no, something is wrong, what you call as conscience or whatever, that awakens from within. But that's not enough. That's grace. One step further is when you make the choice and you shift. When you shift, you are making a very conscious effort and giving respect to that grace. If you don't choose at that moment, you are disrespecting the divinity within you. You are disrespecting the grace that is flowing through you, which might be the grace of your master, of your God, of your ancestors, of your angels, your guides, your spirits, whatever you call it. They will not appear right in front of you. God is not going to appear in front of you, but God is going to shine forth as the light of awareness within you. The grace of your master is going to show up consistently in your life and remind you of the right choices to make at the right time. Failure to do that is the greatest disrespect we show to that grace from wherever it is flowing. It is like asking for prayers to help you out in your problems and that then not paying attention to the answer when the answer is coming. Imagine what a kind of disrespect is that. Remember this always, dear ones. The light will come always from within. Don't seek it outside. Outside is illusion. Even if light flashes in front of you, even if a hazy figure appears in front of you, even if you hear a voice loud and clear that is talking to you from outside, it is good, but it is still temporary. It is still going to not last for long. But whatever you see and hear and feel from within as experiential is something that you must be very grateful for. Now, why is it so difficult on this path? I am talking from my own experiences, my own experiments, my own failures and successes, my own falls and getting up. I am talking from that language because that is a better language to speak, because you are a seeker, I am a seeker. We can relate better to that than bookish knowledge. However, I am referring to the bookish knowledge also, because when I read books, when I study scriptures, when I listen to great masters, they are very much in alignment with my experiences, and that gives me a conviction that whatever experience I had is true. So these are all validating experiences for me. From outside, whatever happens, they are always validating. This is how we should live our life. We should not depend only on the outside proof or evidences, but it must be generated from within, and then you can always counter interact. You can always cross verify what you get from outside, and when you get it from your panch indriyas, what is from outside, the ego is very happy that what I learned from within is true. This is how the ego consciousness develops and evolves slowly and slowly. I told you, it is the ego consciousness that is doing the practice. All practitioners are practicing through the ego. All seekers are seeking through the ego. Seeking through the ego because that is their identity. That is the only knowledge that they have. This I am, this false whoever, this name, identity, personality, I believe I am this. So all my living, all my path, my journey, everything is used through this identity only. We must agree to that. But eventually, we must be aware of this false self and aware of where this false self is moving towards the destruction of the ego slowly, evaporation of the ego slowly. Why you should be aware? Because if you are aware, you will know that you need to give it up. Whenever the ego tries to fight out, ego will always try to fight out because it doesn't want to die. Only an aware person, only a person who is in the path of this awareness will be knowing, oh, it is my ego playing a game. And you don't give attention to it, nor you give fuel to it. You just witness it and look at the tamasha, at the drama it is creating. When you look at the mind, when you look at the ego that is creating the drama on this journey of self-realization, you don't encourage it directly or indirectly. So you just pull back and allow the ego to become more powerless. By not engaging with it, you make it powerless. When you consistently keep doing this, the ego consciousness keeps reducing little by little. And then you become aware of that evaporation also, little by little. And that awareness will make you conscious that you are moving on the right path. Because you will see a lot of things being shed out of you. You will see the changes coming up. This is why awareness is your inner light, your inner guide, your inner guru, which will keep guiding you. Even God works through this light, Guru works through this light. Anybody who blesses you unconditionally, selflessly, in most unconditional and divine manner, will shine through your inner light. Always remember this. It's my personal experience. It works. But you got to be aware of it. When you become aware, you will notice it. And you will be very thankful for it. So why these obstacles? Why these challenges? Why do you feel that it's so impossible? It's so difficult to realize the self and what all I got to do and do. That's another story altogether that I've made multiple videos about doing and being. You can refer to that. I won't get into that in this video. How not to keep doing all the things, because doership is ego. And how just being yourself, the pure awareness, and working through the pure awareness instead of the ego or instead of the mind. When you choose to work just through awareness, the doership goes away little by little. And you become aware of that dropping of the ego. That's another way of doing it, which you can refer to my videos on YouTube, Shifting into Awareness. All these videos are there, deep, incomplete details about doership and non-doership, or doing and being, difference between that. But apart from that, in this video I am just telling you, it is our approach towards this concept of self-realization. It is our attitude that we have or we are building towards this goal. Your attitude is going to determine how fast your evolution is going to be. There are many goals in life. I want to become peaceful, I want to become healthy, I want to become wealthy, I want to become successful, blah, 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 it goes on. If you choose this, any of these, healthy body, healthy mind, healthy relationships, healthy life, wealthy life, prosperous life, abundant life, successful life, peaceful life, contented life, blah, blah, blah. If you choose these as your prior goal, your utmost final goal, then your life begins moving in that direction to give you just that, which is not even halfway to self-realization. Please understand this. It is the choice that you make. You must become fully aware of what are you looking forth in your life. What are you trying to gain? What are you trying to move towards? If you are fully conscious that your want is just a peaceful and stress-free life, your life will begin moving in that direction. Whatever practice you do will be to make your life stress-free and peaceful. That's all. But if your life goal is towards the real purpose of why you have taken this human birth for. What is the real purpose? We all know that. By heart we know, like parrots. What? Moksha. What is moksha? Nobody knows. Oh, moksha means flying out, just getting evaporated or going into God being and all that. We do not seriously know whether we really want moksha or we really want Atma Sakshatkara, that is self-realization. Now, if we ask ourselves what is self-realization, I am sure most of us will not be able to even define 50% of it because we don't know what it is. And how can you attain what you don't know? How can you move consistently or sincerely or passionately towards that which you do not even know what it is fully about? So, what you don't know, you cannot achieve. If somebody tells you, if you go to someone and ask, what is the secret of life? How to be happy? They will say, become peaceful, become calm and contented. So now your aim is to become calm and contented because somebody told you that peace is the ultimatum. If you have peace in life, you have everything, which is true, but still on the grosser level. So somebody told you peace is everything, and then now you march towards peace. I want peace. But do you know the definition of peace? What is peace? What is contentment? Peace means peace of mind. Peace means being able to relax. Okay, if that is your definition, as you move on the path towards creating that or manifesting that, knowingly or unknowingly, you will create just atmospheres which will bring you that calmness, that peace or whatever. But still there will be inner turmoil, still there will be obstacles, still there will be anger, still there will be lust, there will be revenge, there will be jealousy, there will be selfishness, there will be hatred, there will be all these sad emotions coming up, there will be everything else. But what have you got? What you asked for. What did you ask? Peace of mind. So peace of mind you might get by temporarily getting a good house, a good wife or husband, some good money, some good fame, and then you are peaceful. Oh, I got it. Now I don't have to struggle. I got what I want. Now let me be in peace. But then when you are sitting in peace, you might have lust. You might have some other sadness, you might have old memories, you might have something or the other coming up, unresolved issues, new challenges in life, and then you say, oh my God, what is this about? Again you will want peace of mind. Again you will work towards peace of mind. So you can see this is a temporary kind of a state because peace of mind is not permanent. Peace of mind is very temporary. When do you have really, everybody experiences peace of mind. Sure shot. 100%. At least a few hours a day, without fail, they have peace of mind. Sure shot, every human being. When is that? During sleep. So everybody is getting that anyways. But when you wake up, everything comes back to you. So the idea is now how to eradicate all these obstacles and attain a permanent state of peace of mind. Now the definition of peace of mind has changed. As your definition changes, your goals change. And your path will change. Your manifestations will change. Your experiences will change. Your new law of attraction, that kind of people and places and incidents that you attract in your life all change. Because the goal has changed. So it all depends on the quality of what you want. It will lead you to some peace of mind there. But see the catch. Peace of mind can come in any format. Maybe it will make you sleepy. Instead of 8 hours, it might make you sleepy for 18 hours. You still have peace of mind there. But other aspects of life, you're dysfunctional. You asked for it. Peace of mind. Or who knows, somebody can end up in a very nice coma. Peace of mind. There is peace of mind there. There is no mind acting there. Mind has not dissolved, it is suspended. So there is no activity, there is peace of mind. So somebody has attained through that also. Semi-consciousness, unconsciousness. Somebody has attained to some fatalities also. Somebody deep sleep or lethargy also. But is that what you really wanted? Because that's not what the soul exactly wants. You can see how the irony of what it is, and life will just give you what you desire for. If you are not aware of what you are exactly seeking, it can end you up in wrong results, which can bring you a lot of distress. That is because of lack of awareness. Lack of awareness of the final goal of what you want. I'm not even talking about moksha, I've not even reached there. I'm just talking about our ignorant seeking. We do everything. We go to Himalayas. We go to all the holy places. We go on Tirth Yatras, pilgrimages, on all intense tapas and everything. What are you seeking there? You ask a seeker who is moving on a pilgrimage or going to some destination to achieve something, inner or outer, whatever. You ask, what are you looking here for? If somebody who is going to the Himalayas, Kailash, Mount Kailash or Kedarnath, and they are there, ask them. You will be surprised to see that most of them don't know exactly. They will be stunned for a moment. Yes, why am I come here for? Darshan. I have come here for God. I have come here for this beautiful scene. I have come here for peace of mind. You know, lot of trouble there back in the city. I came here for some peace of mind. I came here for my mannate, my unlimited, non-stop, infinite desire list. I came with that to ask something. For a boon. I want desperately something. How many of you all, or how many of the people do you think will actually tell you, I'm seeking nothing? Means liberation. Or how many of you or them might tell exactly, I'm seeking liberation? Liberation from this bondage of life and death. Very rare, or maybe you will not even find one. Even the people who are doing this expedition to Mount Kailash. Or maybe they just want to have a glimpse. I want to know. I want to experience the Shiva Tattva here. I want to experience God here. See the purpose of the summit. Want to experience something temporarily while they are there. Experience and come back and say that I have had a taste of something. Just like you go somewhere to a nice hotel and say, I have had my favorite dish and come. Or my favorite dessert and come. I've tasted it and come. I'm happy. I'm contented. You see, there is contentment there when you go and have an ice cream and come. You feel contented. But for how long? When you come back again, in some time, you will have another craving for that contentment. And you will again go for another ice cream, maybe in a different direction or with a new brand. This is exactly what happens when we are not sure of what this self-realization is. Or what this moksha and all this is. You're not aware of what it is. That is why many people who walk on this path, they claim to be walking towards the path of self-realization or walking towards moksha, poksha, whatever. But they are not serious about it. Not serious because they don't know exactly. They are not conscious. They are not fully aware of what that state is. Because when you are aware of what that state of liberated being is, of that freedom is, when you experience that, or you even have a deep contemplation or reflection of what it is going to be by exiting out of this birth and death cycle and how liberating and free it is. When you experience, have even a glimpse of that and seriously say, I want this. The whole path will change. The whole manifestations will change. The whole people walking in and out of your life, the experiences, the people you bump into, the places you visit, all the divine synchronicities, everything will change. Because now your goal quality has changed. Not the goal, I'm saying the quality of the goal. Previously also it was moksha, but you do not know what is moksha. Now when you have the true definition of that liberation or that self-realization, you want it desperately in that manner, the whole scene changes. See, this is the first obstacle that we have. We are not sure of what we want. We are not sure of why we are walking the path. We all claim to be on the path. You just observe, open your mind. This is not for judgment's sake, dear ones. This is absolutely not for judgment. I am just saying, become conscious of the world around you. If you want to see what is real Maya, if you want to see how powerful the mind is, because when you study the world, you are studying yourself. You are the world also. You are a part of the world. You are not different from it. When you study yourself, you might not find the insight because the ego might cover it up. Because it is very difficult to see my own flaws, my own sins, but so easy to see the world's flaws. So turn the practice outside and just observe the world. No problem. You are using it for a high intention. Even if it is judgment. It's not exactly judgment, it's discernment. You are discerning between what is right and wrong, with what is really happening outside. So just observe the world around. Watch spirituality. Just become calm, reflect. Watch what is happening to spirituality and what is happening to the so-called spiritual people. Just study the minds of people, the objectives of people. How many of them are actually seeking self-realization? How many of them are actually seeking God realization? Truly, not in definition. If you ask, they might say, I'm seeking God realization. How will you know how serious they are? Ask them what is God realization. Or ask them what is self-realization. What happens? What is that state? If they can answer like this very easily and quickly, spontaneously, effortlessly, they are on that track. Leave them alone. But if they blabber, if they have to think twice, if they are wondering, or they are not clear of what they are saying, have no confidence in what they say, they don't know what they want. I'm telling you, at least 99% you will see this around. Everybody is on the path, nobody knows why. Everybody just knows that something troubled them, and that is why they are seeking solution from the trouble. Means when life gives a kick, everybody remembers God. Everybody wants mukti when they get fed up of life. So, it is not spirituality. In awareness, if you see it, it is called escapism. So many problems, so many problems. Let me go and sit in an ashram. Let me go and sit in a cave. Let me go and sit on the top of a hill. And let me avoid the world. Let me cut myself off of all the activities. Let me cocoon myself let me withdraw myself. What do we mean by withdrawing? Even sannyasis withdraw. Yogis withdraw. Great masters withdraw. Enlightened beings are also in the cave. They have withdrawn. There also you must know the true meaning of withdrawal. If there is half knowledge of withdrawal, then it is called escapism. Because then withdrawal means going and sitting, shut out from the world and not wanting to confront anything in the world. Escapism. But they believe that is withdrawal. Or that is sannyas. And that false belief or the false goal will lead them to that false realization. Will lead them towards ignorance more. And then they wonder, I've been walking this path of self-realization. Why am I ending up in all these troubles? And why am I not reaching that goal there? Because they are not aware. They are fully not aware of what their goal is first of all, and they have started walking towards it. So many go into the withdrawal mode. The true withdrawal is when you actually withdraw from the world, there is blissfulness. There is cheerfulness. Even if you shut out from the world, cut out from the world, there is a kind of joyfulness. cheerfulness. A kind of peace that is there with that withdrawal. There is no sulkiness. There is no boredom. Because I have shut down myself in my room, now I don't know what to do. Let me keep scratching. Or let me pick up my mobile and that then get distracted into the mobile world. And all the time be in the mobile. Or get into some habits. These are all distractions. So what has that withdrawal given you? More distractions. Why? Not aware. Not aware of what do you really want and what are you seeking. True withdrawal must give you peace, must give you enlightenment from within, must enlighten your wisdom from within, must sharpen your awareness more, must make you release all that you don't want, not by doing, just by becoming aware. You're acknowledging your flaws, you see the unreal you, you expose yourself wholesomely. True path. That's the true path of realization. That is the true purpose of withdrawal. That is tapas, that is sadhana. Sadhana is not shutting out the room or getting out somewhere and then being so frustrated and devastated and crying and weeping and in anger and arrogance and the frustration of being alone in that room, cursing the world and cursing life and being desperate to release karmas. Nothing is going to release there. Please understand this. Many I have seen doing this. And they do so much. They are doing and doing so much effort, so much of struggle and resistance from within. For years they do that and they remain same or even sometimes get worsened. Because now they are deepened their traumas, worsened their tendencies. Why? No awareness of what they are doing, why they are doing. Ignorance. Just half-baked knowledge. That if you close down the room or run away to some ashram or sit in some deserted cave or sit on the banks of some river, you are going to find that peace which you are searching. You are not finding peace, you are temporarily just stilling that ego. The ego that gets agitated so much, you are not wanting to confront that ego and seeing that as a culprit, as the false you. And you are not trying to realize who's the real you through that. You are only trying to cover up. By distracting yourself in other activities, by calling it so-called divine activities. Because the same ego mind now has a proper justification and an excuse to tell that I am on the right track. Awareness will only tell you whether you are on the right track or not. If you become aware when I say I am on the right track, my mind will start singing. Golmaal hai bhai, sab golmaal hai. Because awareness knows you're tricking, you're fooling yourself. And so an awareness person will be stunned and say, oh, I didn't notice this. Okay, now when you acknowledge that flaw, there is a chance to even rectify it. Now if you don't acknowledge that, and if you bypass it and distract it or diverge from it and continue doing or living in your own ignorance, what is going to happen? This is the biggest drawback why people have so much of challenges in the so-called path towards realizing the true self. For me, if you ask what is realization, simple words, destruction of the mind. That's it. Today I was so happy to see Gurudev's message. And he said, mind is nothing but Tamo Guna, Rajo Guna and Sato Guna. These three gunas are there. Mind exists only because of these three gunas. If these three gunas go, the mind goes. And if the mind goes, you attain self-realization. Destruction of the mind is self-realization. Because you immediately see who you are truly. What Ramana Maharshi is saying here. Who am I? You see who am I in true self. only when the mind is absent or the mind can be dissolved. So the main culprit here is, the main villain in the love story of your life is the mind. Ignorance comes in the mind, opposite to awareness. The day you realize this in its true proper sense, not philosophy. I understand that. So if I ask you, what is the culprit that is trying to not give you enlightenment? You'll say mind. Everybody knows that. I think tomorrow it will be taught very soon in schools also, all these basics. So you will find soon children babbling. What is the cause of ignorance? All the children in chorus will say, the mind, by hearting it, parroting it. So when the exam comes, they'll go and attend, they'll give the exams and they might pass with flying colors. But how much have they realized the truth? Wisdom doesn't work by just knowing. It has to be experienced. To experience, you have to be in the practice. As simple as that. So the first biggest obstacle that we have is the approach, the attitude towards our final goal of what we want in life in this lifetime. If it is something else lower than self-realization, lower I mean it might be very high for somebody, like peace of mind, contentment, happiness, health, relationship, blah 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 blah. It might be the utmost. But only when the jnana, the light from within tells you that's not the ultimatum. Because even if you get all these, you are still going to suffer. You duffer. The mind will tell you. If you have this all, even if you get best of relationship, best of the houses, best of wealth and job and career and fame and status and health and what all, God knows, still there will be suffering. Two ways to realize this. One is through the experience of Jnanis, through the experience of the seekers or the mystics who have walked the path already and seen that this is what happens. So all the mystics will tell you, I spent 30 years, 40 years, or maybe even a lifetime discovering this, and by the end of my tapas I came to know who the culprit is in my journey. And now I have realized after so many years of tapas that this is what I need to tackle, and now let me focus on it. I'm sorry. I just had another stream of thought just moving into me, which was completely something else. So I lost track of what I am saying actually. I think I just shifted my dimensional thing, frequency, because I just lost what I was speaking. Sorry for that. Anybody, if you can tell me what was my last sentence? If you are in awareness, you will be able to tell me. Somebody is asked here, what is telomere and how can we increase it? There is enough research, day one, on the internet, how to increase the telomere, and I know why this is being asked, because this is somewhere to increase your lifespan, to live more on earth. But unfortunately, I am not talking on that subject here, because I am telling you those are all very cheap goals of life. Even attaining immortality or extending your life will not guarantee you liberation from the birth and death cycle, And it will never guarantee you that you're not going to suffer. And it will obviously never guarantee you that you are not going to fall even further down the pit and have even worse new life. These are the catches of the goals of all this, which, yes, I was telling. The whole world is running in spirituality towards these goals. Spirituality is actually coming to show you who your true self is. This is not spirituality. How to increase or alter your genes or DNA and manipulate with the physical template so as to give it a little more chances. How to attain siddhis and powers. How to get into the ashtasiddhis. How to enter into samadhi and remain there for thousands of years. These are all very lower goals of life. I'm telling you, it might seem wonderful. It's not. It will still keep you stuck. I always give this example. Somebody told 2,000, 3,000 years a yogi was in deep samadhi and he got up. Wow, everybody is like, he has gone back and 2,000 years, oh my God, what an achievement. Bhagwan Ramana was not impressed. It's like, so what? What big deal? It's a big deal for us. Maybe most of our goals also are that only, to attain such kind of feats. But these are all tricks and illusions of the mind, because it does not grant you liberation. Because even in samadhi, mind is still present. It is only suspended temporarily, but the mind is there. And the contents of the mind will be there. Why the mind is there? Because there are contents in it. There are sanskaras, there are vasanas, there are vrittis, whatever you call it. They are still there. If those things are there, sukshma, subtle, in the subtlest form, even if it is there, or the gunas, what we call, three gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas, if it is there, the mind is going to be there. And if the mind is there, there is further birth and death. Or there is prarabdha still left. It's not complete yet. Only if prarabdha is there or sanchita is there, only then you will have mind and the contents of the mind. This has to be realized. So the yogi who is sitting 1000 years, 2000 in samadhi, it might sound very good, but Bhagwan Ramana said, what did the yogi do as soon as he came out of samadhi? Somebody told him, he asked for a glass of water. Bhagwan Ramana smiled and said, that is what enlightenment can give you, liberation can give you. After 2000 years, you are still thirsty? Still conditioned by the body? What achievement is that? What liberation is that? Bhagwan Ramana said, those are all powers, attaining certain powers and attaining a certain state of mind or a state of temporary mindlessness where the mind remains suspended and one is not aware of the mind. When one is not influenced by the mind, he or she enters into samadhi. But the mind is still there. Because the yogi, just before sitting into his samadhi, he was sitting in samadhi and was about to go into samadhi, but he felt thirsty. So thoughts came into his mind, I'm thirsty, I need to drink water. But by that time, the mind was dissolving and he was going into samadhi. And he fell into samadhi. 2000 years, deep state of samadhi. But when he returned out of the samadhi, the mind and its content reversed and came back. That same thought which you had before into samadhi, it still came and it still conditioned the person as a slave, enslaved through the body, through thirst and hunger. So that is what Bhagwan Ramana was trying to say. It is not that these are simple feats or simple achievements. No, they are great achievements. But still it will not serve the final purpose. One must be aware of this. But the mind and the ego will show us some other story. Wow, we are in the wow factor. Because we have not seen what is that liberation or because we truly do not want to liberate, because there are desires still to be lurking around another 1,000 years, 2,000 years, and fulfilling something or the other. And when you are doing with this approach, when you live life fulfilling something or the other, you are bound to be in the pain and pleasure principle. Duality, you are going to be bound. Sometimes, kabhi khushi, kabhi gham. It's going to be there. Afflictions are going to be there. So what is liberation? Liberation means mukti, freedom from these dualities. Not just pain, freedom from even pleasures. Not just sadness, freedom from happiness also. You'll say this is crazy. Yes, that is why only a few will understand what I'm saying. That is why only a few will actually be serious on this path. Most of us are not even serious on this path. I was telling, watch around, observe around what's happening. Observe around. Look at spirituality around. Look at what people are running around. Better than that, look at what people have achieved after running around. The success of a path or practice is not in the glories that is being talked about it. The success in about how many have actually succeeded in that philosophy. So if I am hearing a lot of philosophies and glories of self-realization, I first look into how many are self-realized on that track. How many are liberated on that track? I have tracked many such paths. Some paths which are even 80, 90 years old. Believe me, trust it or not. Yesterday I was talking to a German friend here in Tirunamala, and we were discussing the same. Said there are paths so old and so popular even now, almost running from a century, hardly what, there is no one who is self-realized or liberated. But the whole theme of the path is on self-realization. Watch around. Just watch around. Use your awareness to penetrate the truths of life. If you don't use your awareness, you will not penetrate deeply into the truths of life. You will superficially wander in the glamour and glitters that the mind and ego is showing, and be stuck in it, and be happy in that, and still have the feeling all is well. That is ignorance. That is delusion. That is why I said people who are on the path of awareness cannot be fooled by words, by advertisements, by big philosophies, statements. No, nothing. Because that person will straight penetrate to the core of what you are trying to say. And that's my work. If I am doing my personal sessions, you ask those people who have already attended sessions with me, and you will see how traumatic their experiences are most of the time. Because there, when they pay and sit in front of me, my duty and my responsibility is to show them what they are not seeing. And it becomes very challenging when I show people when they are not ready to see what they don't want to see. The battle begins there. Awareness is very sharp. It does not talk. It does not argue. It does not debate. There is no logic in it. It is silent. It just penetrates and sees through everything. Seeing is one thing. Talking about it is foolish. What you see, you witness, you keep quiet. When I say look around in the world around you and observe, I am definitely not saying go and fight the systems or do this or do that, bring out a revolution. Not at all. You just see through it, witness, be silent, and know the truth, reality. Because when you know the truth, you now know what to walk upon, what to avoid, what to walk upon, depending on your seriousness of your goal. Simple as that. That is the day, that is the time when you will know how to follow your soul, your own awareness. If your awareness is absent, you will follow what people say. Somebody says this is going, you will run there. The other will say, no, there it is not. Very less people. Go there, there is more crowd. People are running there. It's just like you wanting to see a film. How do you know the success of a film or how good the film is? Just wait for the reviews. Or just wait for a week and see how many houseful shows are running. If there are too many houseful shows running, full packed, jam packed, good movie, nice film, let's watch it. That's the tendency of the human mind. Where you see crowd, there's something there. Curious. If not eager, you're at least curious. You watch on the roads, when you're walking on the roads. And if a bunch of crowd is standing, immediately all the heads will become so eager and curious. What happened? What happened? Everybody goes and peeps. Curiosity. Crowd. Too many crowds. Oh, something is happening. Something that my mind and ego can benefit from. Let me go and find out what is that. That is how the street shows gather more crowd, because they know how it functions. So the drums will be beat and some monkey they will make jump something, or some rope, tight rope walking, some jugglery, something, and then a bunch of crowd. Enough. Seeing the crowd, again the crowd multiplies, not to know, because they don't even know what's happening there. They want to know what the crowd is watching, what is happening according to the crowd. So they join the crowd. And when they join the crowd in curiosity, they are caught up by that amusement. And if they seek amusement, if they love amusement, they will stay there. Those who don't love amusement, they are not amused by such things, they'll walk away. They'll look into it and they'll walk away. Not my cup of tea. So it's all the approach on what the mind wants to see, what is one's desire, they get that. So if I am not getting the desired role, then I have to check on what is my definition of my final goal. I am talking only about enlightenment here, self-realization here. It applies to other goals also, but I am telling you how the mind works, how our system works. And I am telling why it seems so difficult. It seems difficult because we have made it difficult only because of ignorance. No awareness there. You bring in awareness into your life, everything will open up. Everything will straighten up. You will start seeing everything in clarity. You will stop living in false hopes, false beliefs, false conditionings, false advertisements, false crowds, and you'll start digging deeper and seeing the meaning of what you truly want, and then aligning with that guiding force which is there. That alignment is called surrender. You call it surrender to yourself, you call surrender to the master within, or you call surrender to the God within. Anything you call it. Or you put it out on the higher force, outside. It will guide you, inner or outer. That's consciousness. That's pure consciousness that guides you. So that has to be very, very clear, crystal clear. There is a foreigner that he has seen for almost 20 plus years, close to 20 to 25 years, very devoted in his practice, but he says, I have not seen him wearing any other trousers apart from two of them. All these 25 years. Just two. Probably washing one and wearing the other. Not that he cannot afford it. He is not bothered about his clothing. But we will be very, very, very conscious of how we wear, how we look. Will anybody say something? 4 hours we spoke on many other things, important things. And I was looking at him. He is not bothered. What they can catch hold of, address, because all they need to is cover their body. They are not bothered about it. Because they are not even knowing these are the standards what is expected here. Oh, you got to wear in this way, you got to look at. They don't know. In their culture, it's not there. You just cover your body, just pick up anything that comes in your hand, wear it and walk and do your work. The focus is on the work, what they have come here to do. Meditate, reflect, contemplate, study. They have come here to not anything else. So can you see, it is not a casual approach. Very sincere and serious approach. Because they know what they are seeking. And their eyes is only on that. No distractions. I have not seen these people roaming around here and looking around here and suddenly going and say, oh, this food, let me check this out. Oh, then eat that street food and then walk around. Oh, this is looking good. There are people like that, but maximum I have not seen. The true seekers I have not seen. I will see them always, meditating, contemplating, and then going silently in one corner. They will sit and they will even chew their food as though they are fully aware of what they are eating. Their life has become awareness. Because they are serious. They have no other distraction. They don't want any distraction. They are very serious on their goals. Whereas here in India, you can see self-realization seekers, it's a casual approach. It's not a judgment. You watch it. Because when you watch the world, you will know whether you are one among them, one among the herd. If it is then you need to work on it. That's an obstacle because you might not see. You might be having all these traits. But when you look around, in sometimes the herd that we are caught up with, everybody is doing, let me also do. No, unconsciously. We don't know. We don't know. Why? What? On the street, somebody is going and walking, and suddenly he does a Sashtanga pranam on the road. Another person walking behind him, they don't know why. He also does a Sashtanga. 2 people, then 3 people join, then around 5, 6, 7 people are doing Sashtanga pranam. So everybody is doing one after that and they don't know why. So when the 10th person is doing and you go and ask, Bhai Sahab, why did you do that procession? What do you think he'll say? I don't know, there is something here, maybe something divine, I don't know. People are doing it. No awareness of their own. Herd mentality. What the herd is doing, you end up doing. You have no viveka. You cannot discriminate. You cannot discern. You cannot use your awareness and become conscious of what is it. Use your senses and penetrate and see what it is. Whether it's really needed for you. These are the distractions of life. We get lost in all these things. Westerners don't. Very easy for them. So they are in a culture where there is no attachment. They are born and brought up and nobody is taking each other so seriously. So seriously that if one dies, the other is going to die. If the one something happens, the other is going to get into something. If the one goes into depression, the other also will go into depression. Attachment. They don't have that. You might say it is crude. You might say it's so shrewd. It's so inhuman. There is no human, Westerners don't have this human, this affection is not there. There is no proper relation. There is no love. Arey, what are you going to do with that love? Achar daloge, which is going to bind you. Whatever binds you is not love. But our definition is love means binding. Deep attachment, possessiveness, obsessed day and night with that. Belonging. It belongs to you. Everything must be attuned in what you look at that being in. For us, that is successful relationship. And you can see in our Indian culture how the wives and husbands are suppressed or the lovers suppress each other. They are so much accustomed to controlling each other so deeply in ignorance. And they call it love. Sometimes even stupidly call it true love. My foot. I mean it, my foot. When you get into awareness and you see the stupidity, you will also say my foot. This is why a person of awareness is out of this herd mentality. What the world is doing, log ye karte hain. You know, look at the other persons, look at them, look at how they do, and look at how they do in the cinemas. Look at how the people around us are. Look at that society, look at that community. You keep looking outside and you keep imitating people. You duplicate others' lives. That is herd mentality. I do what others are doing. And then you compare your life with the herds. And then you say, see, I have not yet reached there, or we have not yet reached there. That is what a goal is that? What stupidity is that? Where we keep all these false identities of Maya as our goal, and they become our teachers and they become our goals. And we try to impress upon each other, saying that this is our goal. Look at how people are living. Not for people of awareness. People of awareness will not be bound, and they cannot be caught, they cannot be controlled. They are free. And they will make others free. Our job here, my job on these platforms, shifting into awareness, is liberate you, not bind you, make you bound by anything. To make you aware of what are the things that are binding you and set yourself free. All, including all the stupid ideas of the world. Worldly knowledge, not applicable. For seekers of liberation, the first thing that you need to shed out is what the world does. 98% of the world is ignorant. Are they walking on the path of self-realization? Ignorance, 98%. 2% are very serious and they know the true purpose of life. 2%. Quite a bit again if you go in 8 billion. 2% also is a considerable amount. But out of that, even a handful succeed. This is what Lord Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita. I am not saying this. This equations, statistics. Read the Bhagavad Gita and you will come to know. Where he said only a handful is going to make it. So when a handful is going to make it, will those handful keep the rest of the ignorant sleeping 98% as their role models? And if they keep, where will they end? They will become one among them sooner or later. And that is why many people who are walking on the spiritual path sooner or later become the gross world. Their mentality, their ideas, their auras, everything is filled with only the worldly knowledge, the gross knowledge. The inner, deep, higher wisdom has not even penetrated into them. Why? They have not allowed it. They are sinking in the comfort and the security of this illusory world. I'm telling you, this world gives you insecurity, a secure insecurity. If you don't know that, you must have to walk the path. Philosophy cannot explain this to you. Because philosophy is explained to the minds and egos, and the minds and egos will manipulate it now or sooner or later. Only those who are walking on the path of awareness will be able to realize what I am saying. You might be able to understand what I am saying, that is a different thing. But to realize it, you will have to walk that path. You will have to experience it on your own. And it's not a very difficult path. One by one, if you see in awareness, things will get exposed to you. And you will slowly not give power to it. When you don't give power to it, anything that you don't give power to, it dies. That is how your mind dies. That is what I was very happy reading my Gurudev's message. Because all these days I have been stressing only on that in my videos, into people, my friends, whatever, whomever I am talking. I am only talking, the mind is the culprit. Watch all my words that I have written in Jake Light and Shifting Into. It's all talking only about the mind. I am telling you, go and check for the past 1 week. Why? Because I am stressing it again deep into your subconscious. This is where the problem lies, nowhere else. That is your culprit. Finish that, dissolve that through awareness. Not by doing anything, just by being you can dissolve it. And I was so happy seeing my master confirming that thoughts of mine, because I was still wondering, oh my God, even after talking all this, doing all these things, am I still doing something right, or am I still doing something foolish here? Am I trying to talk foolish because I know it? So should I just shut up and keep doing my work, or should I keep continuing focusing on this? And the message came very right. He said only when that mind disappears, you can see your true self. Mind is nothing but ego. Mind is all that khichdi, the dramatic mind that plays only roles. I'm telling you, watch in awareness how many dramas you play in life. If you fall in the mind zone, you will entertain your own drama. Especially the drama of victimization and self-pity. Yesterday, me and my German friend, when we were talking, he was talking about deep traumas that he had. How somebody dished him and somebody betrayed him, and how he fell deep into that guilt, and he cried for many days, many weeks, and took him years to come over that trauma and all that. And now, even I was talking about my trauma, and then he said, now when I look at it, I am amused. I'm laughing out, literally. What a foolish drama I was up to, crying all those days. Crying comes from the self-pity. Oh, the poor me. I am a victim of life. My past has been this way. Now my present also is going this way. So surely your future also is going to be that way only. I'll add to the drama. I won't cry with people. I will laugh at it. Even if that pity and that crying gives you trouble, makes you sick, I'm not worried. Because the ego is very strong. The ego will play all kind of dramas. Study the Mahishasura, you will come to know how the ego changes its role. One day it is a big, talking big and very this, and next day it is suddenly gullible, crying. Third day it is a sinner. Fourth day it is a saint, requesting Ma Durga. First it tries to attack the Durga. Then it goes into resistance. Ma Durga is trying to slay that ego. But it is defending itself, fighting. Strong battle going on. It doesn't want to give up. And then when finally mother topples out and standing to kill it, now the ego knows, Gaya, I cannot apply force. Because that light of awareness, that spirit of that light of godliness, divinity, which I call consciousness or awareness, is now going to kill me. And when everything, I tried this, I tried that, I tried this game, I tried that debate, this topic, this excuse, that justification, this explanation, that anger, this tantrum, this temper, this coolness, this sadness, this grief. Now suddenly I lose it all. I am going to die now. So I start. If you know, mother, I am such a nice person. I have been always brutally victimized, and now you are also brutally victimizing me. I am alone, all alone, as I was always. Nothing is there in my life. Everything has gone apart from me. Oh mother, you are going to kill me only. Finally, after everything, I am such a saint. Will you kill a saint like me? Will you kill an innocent being like me? You don't know my traumas. You know everything, oh mother. You see how much I am suffering. So divine and saintly and pure I am. And you are trying to kill me. Mother says, nahi chalega drama. She attacks that. Even that crying, saintly, divine figure. Because the mother knows it is ego now changing its tone, changing its colors, changing its form. That is Durga Shapsati, my dear. That is Mahishasura Mardani. If you study even these scriptures in awareness, it will become a lesson for ourselves. There is no point just by hearting or just chanting the verses. Nothing is going to happen. I am telling you here from Arunachaleshwara, nothing is going to happen. Just chanting and just in a belief that some mother is going to come from outside. Mother is inside. It's your own awareness, the light inside that will kill your own ego. This inside, this self, this pure self, when it kills the ego, that is the mind, when it is destroyed, that is when my Gurudev said, when the mind is destroyed, the true self can be seen. That is self-realization. If this is not understood, you will struggle on the path of self-realization. You'll have lot of troubles, lot of sufferings. And you'll feel, I am walking the right path and why am I suffering? No, my dear. If you walk on the right path, you cannot suffer. This also my Gurudev said few days back. If you are walking on the path of truth, you cannot suffer. You will not lose your own energy. You will not lose your own consciousness. If you are on the wrong track, you will lose everything. You lose everything. And I have heard people saying, I have lost everything. I am going to lose whatever. Yes, you will lose. This is what my Gurudev said. You will lose. Check out those quotes. If you are on the wrong path, you will lose even your own energy. This is what awareness does. Only awareness has the guts and courage to look straight into the eye and see and penetrate through what is the truth by not falling for what is outside. This is exactly what I do in my personal sessions. And it's merciless. It's merciless. Because they say, I can't tolerate, this is enough, I can't take it anymore. I say, okay, please get up and go. You get a full refund. It has happened many times. But when I say, no, I didn't mean that, that means there is an eagerness to get rid of the stupidity, to get rid of the ignorance. When you can't do it yourself, you have now turned out for help somewhere. But when that person is telling you something, you have no trust on that person. You are justifying again a lot of things, trying to tell you are not wrong. Then if you are not wrong, why are you suffering, my dear? Why are you seeking for the self? Why did you come to me? Or why do we go to anyone for that case? Seeking solutions, right? So when you are getting solutions, you have to have the audacity and the guts and courage to face that. If not, then the time is not right yet. The time is not yet right. Gurudev always said, never force all these things into anyone. And I have never done that even to my loved ones. However loving, caring, dear, near they are. I allow them to be themselves. It's their prarabdha. They have chosen lessons and they have chosen that way. Who am I to change anybody's free will or destiny? I can guide if they come to me. But if they don't listen, it's up to them. This is a message I'm giving to all of you. It happens in our families and loved near ones. You can guide and help people if they want you. If they want your help, be there for them at all times. That is unconditional support. But if they don't want you, mind your own business. You are not telling go to dogs. That doesn't mean if you mind your own business, you are telling, no, go and whatever happens, I don't care. No. You know the divine plan is not that way. You know that if I can't take care of you, the divine will take care of you. If I can't show you the light of awareness or the truth, divine will show it to you. Cosmos will show in some or the other way. Maybe through more lessons. But the choice is mine. If I learn the lesson, if I notice it, if I become aware of it, I am liberated. I get the answers. If I am not, if my ego is very strong and it is very adamant, like the Asura, Mahishasur, which did not give up very easily. You can see what the battle it had. It could have just surrendered to that light or become aware and transformed itself immediately. But it fought till the end. And what happened in the end? Awareness will always win over the ego. So the life lessons will continue. So you are aware that nobody is being thrown out, or you are not taken responsibility of the whole world. You are not come here to change the whole world. So you are not come here to change your loved ones and family members. You are not a Superman here. Nobody has given you that title here. So don't assume those roles. But yes, it is your dharma if somebody comes to you. It is adharma if you interfere into somebody's karma, into somebody's lessons. Then you don't respect the cosmic laws. Then you are trying to act smarter than God. There are no shortcuts. It has to go in that way. If a fruit is not yet ripe, it has to get ripened on its own on the tree itself. That is why my Gurudev always said, Sahaj pake so meetha. The fruit that ripens on its own is always sweet. So don't try to ripen it beforehand like they do today by inducing chemicals and all that into fruits. You know what happens when you do that? When you induce chemicals and ingest that into the bodies. You know the traumas that happen in that. Problems. Same happens here. Sahaj pake so meetha. A person who is aware will have a lot of patience. He has no hurry. Whereas the person who lives in the ego and mind consciousness has no patience. Immediate. Everything has to be now. There will be a lot of demands in this manner. Now. There will be a lot of tantrums and regulations. This is how it should be, this is how it should be, this is how it should be, this is how life should be. Why? From where? Oh, world, see that. The world, you have not seen that example, you have not seen there, you have not seen here, you have not seen how generally life functions. Oh. So all those regulations will be, and they will live life on that parameters. So if you don't match or people around them don't match, they get upset. No, this is not, this, it has to be in this line. You are not on the right track. What are you doing? You have to live this way, how the gross world is living. Oh my dear, you are in spirituality. You are not in the gross world. You shake up a person and say, wake up. You are not going to follow all the standards there. You are not going to be judging or evaluating your life based on your doubts, your own past experiences, your own insecurities, your own fears. All your fears, all your traumas, all your miseries, all your doubts and insecurity, you are projecting outside into the world. Oh, this is what I feel. This is how it should be. That is what you feel. Where is that feeling coming from? From your gunas. Rajas and the tamas gunas which are there. The gunas are giving you that ideas, that kind of a visual. Everybody says this. Chidakasha says, Nityananda Bhagavan says, you see everything as a reflection of that. You see according to the glasses you wear. If you wear yellow glasses, don't expect to see a blue world. You will see yellow everywhere. And when you see yellow, you cannot say everybody is having jaundice here. Nobody is having jaundice. Remove the specs and see. The other day, I was talking to a mother, a very sweet mother of a child, teenage child, in my personal consultation, here only from Tirunelveli when I was doing. So she was telling how she's stuck in a certain frame of mind where her son needs her help, support. And the son is coming again, but she's getting angered whenever the son is coming. Because the son is supposed to be elderly. Why should why should somebody be a parasitic kind of thing? Am I making that person independent or dependent? So much parasitic. Why is that person not independent? So I said that anger and pushing away is not going to work. Because if somebody is coming to you, that means they genuinely need help. So you can't be pushing away. You spend time, you explain things in clarity, in truth to that person. Again and again. Explain it to your child. He or she will get it today or tomorrow. Because there is an openness. Mother, tell me something, I need your support. That openness is there. Trust is there. Because the trust is there, I said it will work. If that person is not trusting you, there are parents who tell me, my child is going for a toss. Doesn't listen to me, doesn't do this, blah, 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 blah. Nothing is going right. I am so concerned. I said, don't be concerned. Life agendas, life experiences. Those are the agendas which they are born. Life lessons are there for that person. So don't be traumatized. Oh no, he will suffer, she will suffer. Let them suffer, because suffering is going to lead them back to the answers. Suffering is going to lead them to the answers. So if you block their sufferings, they will never find the answers because they don't trust you. They are expecting it from life and you are blocking things from life. So I said, don't grieve that. Let them alone. Let them learn. You be focused on your goals. Let them learn on that. But if somebody is coming to you again and again and saying, I need your support, don't push them away. They need your support. Guide them in the best possible way. That is your dharma. Because the mother was feeling, I am doing adharma to my child when I am not attending to the needs of the child when the child. I said, yes, that is not adharma. Adharma is not doing your job when somebody is coming to you for help. That is adharma. Do the best you can. But then, once you do, withdraw. You are not going to be connected with the results of what that person is doing. Big mongoose here. You are not going to be connected to the results. You are not going to be attached to the results of what that person is seeking. Or what is going to come, the outcome of that. It may not be according to your expectation. Because once you have expectations, I have explained this now. Now I am going to expect that person to behave the way I want or I tell them. Because I have given them guidance. I am telling you will suffer because I suffer. I have tried this. Whenever I explain to people or try to help anybody and then fix like, oh, now at least it will help their life. And then when I sit with an expectation, now they will change and transform for good. And when they don't, I get bugged up. I lose my temper like anything. Then I realize in my awareness when I sit, this is coming out of that expectation. Why are you expecting the results? Your dharma is to do your duty and stay detached and work on your own goals. It is up to the other person whether they want to transform with your advice or they want to remain ignorant, because they are the consequence. They are going to bear with the consequences. So if not, they don't get the idea from you, they will get it from somewhere else. Because you are not the whole and soul in this world. Life teaches through many ways. That is how we keep on moving from one life experience to the other. One relationship fail, you go to the other. Second relationship fail, you go to the third. Third fails, fourth. Even people marry 10 times and still they are not happy. Because they believe happiness is in the person outside. A new partner change and things are going. No. Partners are always a reflection of your own state. So if you don't transform, you will end up getting the same life lessons again and again, repeating. So there is no point in escapism. There is no point running from this to that. It is to sit and see and align with that. The day that is found out, you have settled in life. And when you settle in life, then only you can settle into your higher goals. Because when your mind is stuck in the lower goals yet, how can you seek the highest? So all in spirituality, maximum I've seen, are into spirituality only for entertaining the lower goals. Somewhere they just want little peace. Tang aa gaya main, ya tang aa gayi main, bas ho gaya, enough, fed up of life, so much of suffering, don't want this, don't want that. So I am going to sit and meditate now. I want to run to an ashram and sit. I want to escape for a couple of weeks and be there in silence. What is going to happen when you be in silence? Your mind is still agitated. What is going to happen when you change people or things and places around you? The condition of the mind is still the same. The vasanas are the same. The sanskaras are the same. That is the bija. That is the seed. Until the seed is changed, the fruit cannot change. That is why I am telling you, path of awareness is very important. Only the path of awareness will lead you to that seed and you will attack the root. You will destroy the root and there will be no bitter fruits coming out of that. Unless that is there, it is stupidity to expect sweet fruits out of bitter seeds. As you sow, so shall you reap. So it's all on the intensity and the seriousness of what you want. It's the seriousness of what you want. If you're really serious about it, you will be spending that much time on it. Whatever time you spend on is your life goal. Let me tell you this, if you don't know if you are spending the right amount of time and ratio and the time frame window on your goal or not, or what is your goal, you just sit and contemplate and see in your waking hours, let's say 16 to 18 hours of waking time, how many hours are you thinking what? If you are thinking about a certain thing like wealth, maximum, or career, or a relationship, or any worldly desires, or any unfulfilled desires, or anything that you focus on and whatever repeats in your mind again and again, whole day for the maximum time, that is your first goal of life. Sit down and contemplate for a couple of minutes or hours and note down what have you been doing in the past 1 month or last few days, just even 1 week. Just write down. What have you been doing? What has been engaged in your mind all the time? What has kept you busy? What your mind busy? When you write down, you will be shocked. That is your goal. That is your chosen goal. Then you say, no, this is not my goal. Then you are doing it wrong. You don't have clarity in your goal, or you don't have awareness of that goal. Because if you are aware of the goal, you will suddenly switch on. If you are truly knowing that self-realization is a goal, then whatever other comes, the thought patterns come, the moment it comes, you are going to shift from that mind to that awareness of the true goal. It's all in the shift. If you don't do it, it's not going to happen. That is why awareness is utmost important. Whichever practice you do, whichever path you follow, if you don't have awareness, you will be beating around the bush. Mark my words, personal experience. Or try it out for a couple of years and you will conclude what I am telling you. So it's up to us to learn through the experience of others, or we want to undergo that. That's what I tell everybody who are not wanting to learn lessons. One is you learn from somebody else's saying and experiences, or you say, no, I don't trust you. I don't trust you. Let me have that experience and let me experience that pain, through that pain that you went through, all that nonsense. So let me go through that nonsense and let me understand. Then only I'll trust. And maybe people do that. Okay, do that. That's also the way. Nobody can stop that. That's your free will. That's your choice. Yesterday one of my friend was telling me, oh bhai, oh bhai, oh bhai, I said, क्या हुआ? माया सब तरफ है, यहाँ पे भी गिर रहा है मुझे, तिरुवन्नामलई में. Oh, it's overwhelming. I was thinking, what makes us feel that if you come to a divine place, everything else will vanish? No, here the power of awareness, the consciousness is very high. That doesn't mean the Maya is absent. Maya will be everywhere. Glitter will be there everywhere. There is no corner in this earth where it's not there. You will find it on Mount Kailash also. Because these are not non-dual spaces. They are all dual spaces. Duality is there. This hill experiences hot, heat and cold. You cannot say it's only cold here because it's Arunachala, or because it's the hill, fire hill, so only heat is. No, there is cold also. The rocks can be very damn cold here. There is mist here, fog here, everything is there certain times. Duality. And so there is police stations here in Tirunelveli also. You think on Mount Kailasha there is no law regulating forces like military or policemen there? Why? It's a divine place. Why do you need cops there? Maya is there everywhere. You want to see, I'll show you. This holy hill, if you know the truth and if you are attuned to this truth, and you sit here, you will gain. You will gain. If you know in awareness, if you become aware of this hill will bless you abundantly with anything and everything. I'm not talking about worldly goals again when I say everything. Don't come to do tapas here for your worldly stuff. Make my relation better, make my father better, make my wife listen to me, make my husband listen to me, let us have more children, let us have more wealth, careers, bless us with health and long life. You do that everywhere. This is a place of self-realization. That is why Lord Shiva himself, the hill, chose the divine child Bhagavan Ramana to be seated here at the foothills and guide through his teachings. Shiva's subtle form is Lord Dakshinamurti, and Dakshinamurti is silence, and Dakshinamurti was channeling through Bhagavan Ramana. The Dakshinamurti in him, through silence, functioned through so many souls, converted and transformed so many, pulled the world here. Nobody knows Arunachala. Even if they know, it's very limited. But Ramana Maharishi's presence brought people from 36 plus countries here. Something pulled them here. Ramana brought them here and indirectly introduced them to Shiva in the Dakshinamurti form. Shiva means I mean it. Supreme consciousness. The non-dual Sat Purusha. The non-dual consciousness. The supreme pure awareness is what I am referring to Shiva as. I am not talking about any dual aspect. Any form of Shiva I am not talking. Because here, when you come into that zone of self-realization, even the forms have to go. If you are caught up in form, you will never cross that zone of duality. That is why Bhagavan Ramana never talked about gods and goddesses. He referred it only to the people who talked the language of religion. He gave the wisdom using the names of the gods that they preferred it. But he ultimately led them to reality. And somebody asked him about God. How do I develop faith, or how do I know that God is working for me? Bhagavan Ramana said, surrender complete to that God. Oh, I find it so difficult to surrender and all that. Then forget God and surrender to yourself. He said, leave God alone. This is the right word. He said, leave God alone, then surrender to yourself. He's so beautiful, straight, non-complicated. He's telling the self and that God is no one but the same. He's not talking about any form here. He's not talking about any deity, because the mind will get again caught up in deities, and the moment a deity, a form comes, the first thing that will come is to worship that, to offer salutations, and then the two-way communication begins, the dual, Dvaita. Whereas the zone of self-realization, realizing the self means what? What is self? Self is not a non-dual aspect. It's not the dual aspect, it is the non-dual aspect. Before self-realization, there is somebody who is trying to realize that self. Who is that? The ego self, the I, the aham. Aham is trying to realize it. But the moment the aham merges into that self, the aham vanishes and there is only self. There is no two. The one who is experiencing that self is the self itself. In that non-dual state, that is called the realizing of self, or realization of self, or self-realization. This must be very clear in our mind if we are seekers of self-realization. If we don't have this picture in mind and we are going through the dualities in the name of self-realization, then we have not understood the concept itself. What happens when self realizes the self? Only one remains. And if one remains, where is the picture? Where is the name? Where is the form? Where is the worshipped and where is the worshipper? This is a direct path. So Bhagavan Ramana always said, this path is only for mature souls who have been around through everything and have finally realized what is their ultimatum, that is to only abide with the self. Don't fight with anything else. Your whole practice is simply to become aware of the self, to abide in the self, to shift into that self, which I call shifting into awareness, because that self is nothing but pure awareness. This is the higher aspect of shifting in the platform of shifting into awareness. I teach there the gross awareness, because no one is ready to directly listen to these truths. But on and often I keep, whenever I come to such zones, I post the higher truths, the higher awareness, the pure awareness. Till then I am only talking simply about the gross awareness. Become aware of your body, become aware of people around, become aware of things around. There is no awareness of people around actually in higher spirituality, deeper spirituality. I today said, become aware of spirituality around, see, become conscious of what people are up to. You will come to know what you are up to before, if you are a part of that herd. Now in true awareness, you are only aware of yourself. There is nothing else to practice. That is a higher, deeper awareness. I am revealing how these steps are. First you become aware of all this, okay, you practice and you become conscious of all these things. You know what is awareness. Then you start putting that awareness into your own awareness, and then you start becoming aware of your own self. The day that happens, Bhagavan Ramana Maharishi says, the day you truly become aware of yourself, you will know that there is no other person. You cannot become aware of anything outside. That is the higher aspect of this. Because when you realize that one and you are one with the one, there is everything as one. There is no two. So there is nothing to look outside and become aware of. So beautiful. I read this today morning near Annamalai Swami's Samadhi, Mahasamadhi place. So I was telling my friend, Maya is there everywhere. Don't think Maya is going to elude. That is escapism if you think you are going to a divine place and you are out of Maya. No. You come here and sit on this Arunachaleshwara hill. Yeah. Sit in peace. Sit and contemplate and reflect. Guarantee there will be Maya not around, in your mind itself. The Maya will lurk here also. If you want to see around also, you will find. See, let me show you one practical example. See, on this hill, holy people sit in many places. Many people have realized. Thousands of saints and rishis have realized here. One is Virupaksha, the great Siddha. And there are many other Avdutas here. And Bhagavan Ramana is one of them in Virupakshi cave. He attained all this realization all on this hill only. So many saints have taken realization. So if you come here and if you align and if you sit here on any of this divine place, you will feel and reverberate if you are in true intention. If your intention is very pure of what you really want from this place, it shall happen to you, guaranteed. But then there are people who use this hill adversely also, ignorant. You want to see? I'll show you. Can you see that? This is Arunachaleshwara, Arunachala hill. Can you see that? Okay, let me show you this. Can you see this? Still, I'll show you something here. I don't know if you can see this. It's a glass piece. This is of liquor bottles. You can imagine what is this. Maya is present everywhere. Practical spirituality is to know that Maya will be everywhere, because the whole world is still in duality. There will be opposites. Here it might be lesser challenges, but there will be aspect. If not anything, here also if you don't find, even if you are sitting in the best of caves here also, still the Maya will erupt from your mind. So what does this show? This shows that the real culprit is again the mind. So the same mind, when I look at these things here, when I look at these, I can be disturbed by this and get frustrated what people are up to and start blah blah and cursing people and telling how wrong it is and how sacred this is and what. I can get into all that philosophy, or I can simply avoid it. I refuse to pay attention to this Maya here. It's there. I know it's there. So once when I'm in the practicality of knowing that it's there, I'll be relaxed with it. Only when I go with the wrong belief, it's a beautiful place, and so everything has to be beautiful and divine. When you go with this wrong perception, I'm going to suffer. So the suffering actually happens in my mind, the way I look at this thing. If I see this and I start cursing, my peace of mind will go here also. It's all in the mind. I'm telling, even if I'm here, I've seen, previously I used to come, no worldly, nothing, completely disconnected. I used to have blissful moments. But now when I come, I have a lot of botherations. I'm sometimes dealing with some personal issues on the phone or something, and then I get disturbed. Being even in this place. These are life experiences, though life is showing me all these things. I treat this all as lessons. Everything as lessons. Nothing is bad. It is teaching me the power of Maya. And the more I get affected by Maya, or pained, or more I suffer with Maya, the more stronger my will becomes for moksha. You see that? Suffering leads me more powerfully to my goal. It will not distract me from my goal. There are two ways. One is suffering, you get depressed. I've been in that also. You get depressed, oh this is that, that is that, and then you give up on your goals. You say, forget it, fed up. And then when I'm contemplating on that, Gurudev's message comes, never give up on your goals. So I know there is a divine guiding force that is always watching you. You don't have to have the physical vicinity of anyone. Divinity works in multiple ways. And then I learn, oh God, suffering and problems in life is actually making me more stronger on the path and making me more one-pointed on my final goal of moksha. Realization. Because you know the temporariness of everything. Today something is beautiful, tomorrow it changes. This moment the mind is good, that moment it changes. Today somebody's mood is good, tomorrow it changes. Today somebody's idea is good, tomorrow it changes. Today the perception is different, tomorrow it changes. Consistently there is change. You cannot stop it. You cannot say that no, I am in this manner, I am going to be forever like this. That's the most stupidest person. That person cannot be spiritual. Who says things are going so beautiful. Now my life is beautiful. Now it is going to be like this forever. You are the dumbest fool in spirituality. It doesn't go that way. Change is inevitable. All that is temporary in this Maya world is going to fade out. Everything withers out. This tree looks so fresh. I cannot expect it to be like this forever. If I come after 10 years, maybe it will have a different quality and different way. If I come here after 50 years, God knows if it will be here or not. God knows. Or if it will go in another 25 years. It will wither and die. I cannot say I am enjoying this shade, now it's going to be forever. No. Morning I was enjoying shade here. Now what has happened? Now there is sunlight here. What did I say in the start of this video? Shade is awareness. I was sitting in awareness here in shade. But soon this awareness faded. The mind came in here. And I started getting heat. The moment heat came here, I moved here into this space. Now can I sit in this space and say that forever I am safe? No. See, you can see the sunlight is already hitting on my face. In a few minutes it will come directly here. So can I say, oh, I don't like this. Why changing? Yesterday it was all this, or 1 hour back it was all shade here. What nonsense is this? Why there is sunlight now? Then you are the most stupid guy. You don't know the laws of nature. Everything is transient. Everything is changing. All the time. Anitya. It will all fade. You and me will also die and go. Let us come to this fact. Anything that is going to die, this body I am talking about, is not real. If we have not understood this, then we are in some foolish glamour spirituality, which is only giving comfort to our ego, which is only focused on manifesting our lower goals, that's all. Because that lower goals will tell, you will get this, you will get this, you will get this. But soon you will know you don't get anything. And if you get something also, it's not permanent. It's going to go. Everything is going to go in this world out. The inability to see, when you get fear, oh, it is going to go, you are the most ignorant person. You have not still started walking on the path. Then what do I do if I get fear? Start walking on the path. You'll realize the temporariness of everything. Then your attitude will change. Then it will be like, oh, do I have to give up? No, you don't have to give up. See, because here there is sunlight now. Morning it was not there. So should I say I will not sit on this rock only? No, I will sit. Till when? Till when there is shade. When it is sunlight, I move from there. I keep changing. I keep adjusting. All the time I am adjusting with nature. And the nature gives me what I want when I am in alignment. I adjust. When I don't adjust, I am rigid. I want it this way only. I suffer. Nature is not going to bend. We have to bend. Our egos have to bend. That is called learning life lessons. And when that happens, the flow happens. That is peace. That is success in your practices. If that is not there, a lot of work to be done. We have not yet started on the path of spirituality yet. Because if you live in comfort zone all the time, thinking that this is going to be eternal, today or tomorrow, we are going to get a jolt and it's going to be very shocking and traumatic. So traumatic that we might have to come back another lifetime and experience it all together once again to realize the fakeness of all this. I have been told by many mystics, because you are disappointed in life, because you are not getting what your ego wants, and if you give up on your goals, don't think you are going anywhere. It is going to repeat. Even if in frustration you take out your life, still it will happen in the astral dimensions. It will trouble you, all those lessons, multiple. And then it will push you and throw you down back into earth again to play another cosmic drama. So you cannot escape. This is a divine rule. You cannot escape. You can only transcend it. So the whole goal of seekers should be to transcend it. That is what I call practical spirituality. When you understand what I am talking in this video, if you have not understood, sit back in your free time, play this video again. I assure you, it will enlighten you very deeply. Because I know each and every single word that I am talking here, and I am talking it crystal clear, in clear pronunciation, in clear depth of the meaning through this awareness that is coming from this grace of Arunachala Hill. I am very sure of it. It will penetrate into your soul if you choose to. That choice is yours. So if you want to reflect on this, I would strongly suggest, play it when you are free. As a part of your practice, just play it with your eyes closed. Contemplate on it. I assure you, by the end of this video, you will have a different, strong, transformational effect, and you will see your awareness sharpened. I assure you this. But do it in the absence of ego, in the absence of the mind playing dramas. Because if your mind is addicted to something else, it will not stay silent when this is going. Whenever something is going like this, it will start its own justification, its own clarification, its own doubts, its own questioning, its own reasoning, its own logic, its own debate, its own arguments. All that will go in the mind and nothing will gain out of it. So this is only for seekers who are open to it. And I know there are some divine things happening, and this video is supposed to be. I know it's supposed to be. For whoever needs it. I don't know what that. But it is for somebody who needs it. Somebody, I am not meaning one person. Because the same issue in the past few days, around 4 to 5 people I have seen, almost same. So I know I am not talking to one person. I am talking to the collective. I am talking to multiple people through this, because it's a collective effort. The problem is the same, the ego is the same, the root is the same. Stories are different. So don't get hung up in stories. Oh, you don't know, that person's story is different, mine is different, theirs is different. How can you say common? You go deep into it and see it is coming all from that ego root. It is coming all from that mind playing games. And it is all coming due to lack of awareness. So with this, I welcome you all to Arunachala. Whenever you have time, especially the serious seekers on the path of liberation and enlightenment, or you call it self-realization. I assure you again, see, whom am I to assure? I don't know why I am assuring, but still I am saying again with conviction. It will happen if you come here aligned, and if you can take completely yourself off of all the Maya and illusions and distractions and stay focused here at least minimum 3 days. Be in the space of Bhagavan Ramana's. Take some books, read through it, move through the space, move through the Arunachaleshwara. Instead of sightseeing, don't go too much, because I am talking to serious seekers. I know people will not go into that. But people who want to see things and all, okay, most welcome, go around and see and enjoy your 3 days and go. But this video is not for them. Because I am not telling you here on the hill which cave is where, in the temple what is there, how many Jiva Samadhis are there, how many Siddha. I am not going into all those details. This is all outside. I am talking about the inner people. If you want to see the inner self, experience the inner self, you have to silence the ego and mind. That can happen very beautifully here. Because the whole purpose of this hill, this is known to be the destroyer of ego. Arunachaleshwara hill. It will not spare, it is merciless. Those who come and touch here once, it will be behind your back until the ego is destroyed. If you are graced and touched by Arunachala. Because this hill is the destroyer of ego, the Agni Tattva. So this is the best place to come. You don't have to think and worry about how will I destroy my... Don't go into all that. Just think about your soul, how to shift into that awareness of your soul. That's all. How that method, that shifting, only focus on that, shifting into. Don't bother about anything else that is bothering, this challenge, that. Everything I am telling you, the moment you shift into awareness and stay in that awareness for some time, you will see everything is dissolved automatically. So when you consistently practice that, the other things apart from the self, whatever is there, is getting more and more powerless. And that is how it fades. That is the science. So I invite you all, do come and take the best opportunity that this beautiful hill, the beautiful ashram here, Ramana ashram, and the beautiful work of Ramana, because he knew before his leaving, he had intensified his work of producing books, because he knew what he is doing. I can see it now. Those days, all these books were readied. Most of the books, great books were readied. His teachings were readied, because he knew what he is doing. And he knew it's not immediate, it's going to take a century at least, and it took a century. He was a saint of the 18th century. And now we are in 2000 plus. Now the effects can be seen in the past 40 years or 30 years or 20 years or even last 10 years. Immense increase. So it was an investment that was done decades ago with the right intention and a very powerful intent. That's working now. 2 generations later, we are benefiting. And I'm sure this will benefit generations together here. Because the content is only about the self, the true source, no other dogmas, no nothing else, everything else is kept aside. So here you will have no distractions. The teachings are very straight to the point. And if you are a person who wants to go straight to the goal, this is one place. Come here and quietly spend some time here. With this, I take your leave. Oh, I had closed off this, closed off this comment, so I was not looking at it. I'm sorry. I'll just go through it quickly in case I can, if there is anything worth answering here, I'll quickly go through it. Poonam, just realize that mind is the culprit. No, you had realized this before also. Maybe you are just reminded of it now. I think I'll read it from behind because there is not many coming here. Yeah, thank you. All those who are saying thank you, I should thank you. But thanking again is an expression. You feel it, that's more than enough. There are so many here who don't even put comments, but I'm sure they must be having that thankful heart. That is all I mean by, I'm posting all this. You say thank you, you have this blessing thing to people, or even to express your love. You don't express love by telling it. You be love. You be gratitude. You be service. You don't say I'm doing a seva, I am trying to help you. You be service. The one who is being service, gratitude, love, blessings doesn't talk about it. The moment you talk, you are not in the being, you are the doer. When I bless you, I become the doer. Only He has the power to bless. So I say, stay blessed. Whoever is blessing you, stay blessed. So it's just our approach, change of approach, but the expression is the same. Align yourself more toward these truths. It's finest. Don't just go what the world is saying, they are doing, all are doing. Don't go by that. Go by what your heart says. Seek from your heart. Your heart will guide you. My heart is guiding me this. It is telling me that all this is still doership. And there is aspect of ego that is telling, I want to thank you. I want to bless you. I want to hug you. I want to love you. Who's that I? You see, is the ego aspect. The one who wants to do all this will silently do it. Through the expression, through the karma that you do, through the way you are being yourself. You are an expression, living expression. You don't have to put on an attire and then prove it through your words. The moment you use words, the quality of that aspect just comes down. It sort of makes it cheaper, I'm sorry, you're sending all are sending thank you. When I said this, stopped. I mean it. Be more from this. So, thank you all. Anila ji, Devavati ji, Vrinda ji, Puneet ji, Sunita ji, Neeta ji, Chaitali ji, Tanu ji, Asha ji. Not audible. Oh, I think this in between it just went off for some time because Meera Ramji. Yes, Jacob bhai, walking in circles, getting nowhere, slowly always preoccupied with something or the other. Very frustrating, and the minute awareness arises, there is freedom, even if it is momentary. God bless you. You got it. You realize this, even of all this, even if there is a moment of awareness, everything just vanishes and you are in that peace. So beautiful. That glimpse is your inspiration because now you have conviction. Now you will not tell Jacob or this XYZ or that one said about awareness. So it is going to, no, you don't have to believe others. This is your own belief coming from your true experience. I'm glad. Rahul bhai, check audio. Arey nahi bhai, wo do bar, I think there is a snake or something here. The birds are creeping like anything. Just here, close by here. You can see. That guy is very disturbed and there was a mongoose also running here. So there is some disturbance there. तो उसके बीच में 2 बार खिसक गया ये videos. So I had to bring it back and it must have paused at that time. I'm sorry, I should have kept this comments on, but since I didn't want disturbance, I thought I'll just... I believe it was just for a couple of seconds or a minute or so. Then okay, I believe this video has helped you in some or the other way. You can share it with the people who need it the most, who are looking for the path of truth and light and who want to get deeper into this, and who are feeling like this is too much, that is too much, and they are getting distracted or something. They want to be aligned. and they are seeking for some true answers and the true source, you can guide through this videos. You can share it to those people, and more than that, I would suggest you can sit in awareness, in silence, and listen through this very deeply, because I spoke this being aligned with this hill. So with lots of divine love and light to all of you, stay blessed, and thank you for being here, for which I was able to express to you all. Much love and light. Stay blessed.